to talk about emailing coaches. This is a big one for a lot of people. Can you see okay the screen, by the way?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So yeah, this is the most commonly asked question that I get. Like I read through obviously when everyone joins the group, like what do you need the most help with? I read through all those answers and like 40% of them are about emails and exposure. So this is going to be a big one and I'm excited to talk about this. So first though, I just want to put on your radar the upcoming max classes. So obviously emails is today. We have a Get Better at Volleyball Masterclass next week. So this is one that's not recruiting related. This is going to be just learning how to learn faster, mentality, mindset tips you can have, obviously technique things for specific skills if anybody is struggling with them. So I'm excited for that. That's next week. After that, we're
What
going to
day
have
of the
habit.
week is that?
These are all going to be Fridays. These are all going to be Fridays at
Okay,
5:30 PST. So same as this.
okay, okay.
Um, yeah, and then after that, we've got habits and time management. So again, not specifically recruiting related, but something that every student athlete needs to know how to do is manage their time with classes and practice, and just setting up good habits so that you can manage your time and not feel like you're constantly behind and stuff like that. And then we're going to talk about film the week after that in February, how to make film, how to record film, how to edit film, how to publish it, where to store it, everything about film. And at the end, we're going to have the Q&A. So at any point, Patrick, if you have any questions that you think of, just put them in the chat, like at any point in time, like just so you don't forget it, and then I'll answer them all at the end, and we can also just chat too at the end as well.
Okay.
But yeah, without further ado, let's jump in. So I want to start off with a scenario here. So imagine this. So where is it? There we go. You spend hours, you craft the perfect email to your dream coach, and you send it off, and you're full of hope, and then crickets, no response. It's a scenario we're all familiar with. It's super, super frustrating. And I've been there too. I know how much it stings. But what if I told you there's just a couple of tweaks that you can make that are the difference between being ignored and getting that first reply? And so I'm going to show you exactly how to write emails that coaches can't ignore. And I'm just going to give it all away. Like I'm not going to hold anything back. Biggest tip is just put effort into your emails. A lot of people send emails willy-nilly. They just kind of pick a bunch of random colleges. They just don't really take very long typing it. They copy and paste it 10 times and hit send. That's not going to work. You want to write every email as if your college career is on the line in terms of effort. Now, it's not on the line, and I'm not saying you to scare that, but just framing it that way in terms of the effort and time you put into each email, because they mean a lot. It's your first impression with the coach, and so how they view you is in part based on that email and how it works. And so I'm going to show you exact strategies I use to commit to the number 2 Division II school in the country. First, though, I want to share my story, which have you heard my story, Patrick? Just like my
I don't think so.
recruiting journey. Okay, cool. So I'm going to run through that really quick and then we will dive in. So I live in California, born and raised in California. My recruiting journey, however, started in Montana. So I drive up there to visit my grandparents every spring. And somehow, I don't know when or how, I was not thinking about recruiting at all, but a recruiting webinar got onto my mom's radar and she added it into her calendar, and it happened to be when we were in Montana. Now, this is literally like a cabin in the woods, like literal log cabin. You can't see any of the neighbors. There's no Wi-Fi. The service sucks. They didn't have a TV, right? This is my grandparents. So we had to like figure out how to get it on someone's laptop and then like turn the volume up and connect it to a speaker so we could hear it. And then the quality sucked. It was like cutting in and out and stuff. But we watched this webinar and basically turned to each other, my mom and I at the end, and we're kind of like, oh my gosh, do you want to play in college? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay, we need to start recruiting then. This is when I was a sophomore. She was like, we need to start recruiting then. Oh my gosh, we need to do something. So sophomore year, I started my recruiting process in the spring, sophomore year. I started looking at schools, making a list, talking to my club coach, figuring out where I should shoot for. I started writing emails, all that stuff. That all happened sophomore year. So fast forward to junior year, still sending emails to coaches. They've responded at this point. They've come watch me play. I've been just kind of chatting with them, going to their summer camps and their clinics and stuff. And so I have a couple of coaches that I have a really good relationship with. And so, my recruiting is more of the same junior year. I'm going to tournaments, making film, putting it out, watching these teams playing in their matches and their conference and stuff. Senior year, I start going on official visits. I start practicing with the team and I start getting offers, which is super duper exciting. And so more of the same, just with, reaching out to coaches and really just building up the relationships that I have with my coaches. And so I eventually, at the end of my senior year, committed to play college volleyball at University of California, Merced. They were NAIA when I was there, but they're D2 now. And so that was it. I committed and I played in college. But there's more. So COVID happened my freshman year of college. You can see in this picture, everybody's wearing masks. There's no fans allowed. We didn't switch sides. We didn't high five the other team. We just played in masks. It was very strange, but we still had a season. But I got another year of eligibility left, so I had extra years that I could play. So I committed again. I played my 4 years at University of California, Merced, and then I transferred to San Francisco State, where I am now, and am playing out my last years of college volleyball there. But there's still more. So this past season, right before I got up to preseason, right before I was going to show up for preseason, I got hurt. I tore a couple things in my knee. I did not need surgery, but it has taken me out. I have not played this past season because I've been injured the whole time. So you can see there's me on the bench with my knee brace cheering. I obviously rode the bench this past year, not being able to play. And I had a lot more time on my hands than I thought I would. And I had a lot of desire to play volleyball, obviously, because I couldn't play, and be involved in the volleyball world when I couldn't personally be involved in it myself. So the Ideal Volleyball Recruit was born. And I started a podcast. I started this community. And that's kind of how this all came about, is me being injured, not being able to play, but still wanting to be involved in volleyball. And so that's where we are today. I'm super excited for this upcoming season to finally play with San Francisco State, because I haven't actually played with them yet. But that is me in my recruiting journey. It is a definitely unique one. Most people's is a lot more linear than mine. But that is my story of how I got here. And so right now in this video and in this masterclass, I'm going to show you the exact strategies I used to get to UC Merced, to get to San Francisco State, which is the number 2 Division II school in the country. And I'm going to break it all down. I'm not going to hold anything back. So here's what we're going to cover. We're going to cover 3 main things. First, we're going to cover the initial email that you send to a college coach. Then we're going to cover follow-ups, how to do them, when not to do them. And then we're going to talk about what to do if you get ghosted, because it is part of the process and it is going to happen to everybody. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit. Okay, so emailing coaches. First email. Personalize the email. If you take one thing away from this, personalize the email. That's the most important thing I'm going to say the entire night. Use the coach's name, use the program's name. It's very clear to college coaches when a recruit takes the same generic email and selects a list of 1,000 coaches and just blasts it out without even knowing the names of these colleges. That happens, right? That's a thing that people do. My dad's a college coach and he talks about that. He's like, oh, this kid doesn't really care. Like, I can tell that she sent this exact same email to, 100 other coaches. So coaches can tell. So you want to use their name, not just hi coach, like say their name, and also use their program name instead of your program. I like your program. Your program is great. I want to play for your program. Like, say the actual name of the school. The next thing, this is my secret sauce for emails. I don't know of other people that are really doing this to the extent that I am, and that I'm telling people to do. Find something specific about their program and mention it in the email. And like that shows coaches that you do your research. And so literally what you want to do is go to the website of the school volleyball team and just browse around and see what you can find. And so I'm literally going to do that right now super quick. So if I just go to San Francisco State women's volleyball page, right? I'm already on the schedule page, but just find the schedule page. Honestly, this is probably what I'd say if I were to email this coach right now. You guys only lost 7 games the entire year. That's awesome. I saw you win 26-7, right? So that's honestly what I would say. If I were to look a little bit harder, I would see that we ended up going to the national championship and playing in the national championship. And so I would also mention that too if I were to email this coach right now. But literally, it's as simple as that. Just go to this school's page and find something and just say, I noticed this. Good job, right? Because this is like, give the coach the credit. So it's literally as simple as that, but just go and find that thing for each school. It can be an award that the coaches won, or if any players have won, like AVCA All-American or All-Conference or All-Tournament MVP or anything like that. If they have a good record, if they beat a big team, like just find something that you can mention and kind of gas them up for. And it's, again, just shows that you are interested in the college, like actually interested in it. So Next thing you want to do is keep it short and focused. Yes, there is a decent amount of information you need to convey. This is the first email, right? This is the first time the coach ever hears of you and your existence. So you do need to convey a good amount of information about yourself, your name, your position, your height, your graduation year, some stats and things, what club you play for, what school you play for. But you don't need to write a whole essay. Like, it doesn't need to be like, my first year of club was 5th grade and it was really fun and we went to the national, just keep it simple, just keep it focused and put the information that is needed and nothing more. And include, your film, your GPA, and your upcoming games and stuff as well. The next thing you want to do is make it easy for coaches to reply. So you want to end with a clear call to action, which where you ask the coach to do something. What I always recommend is come watch me play. And the reason I say this is because a lot of people are like, here's my film, watch my film. If you email a college coach, they're going to read your email, and if there's film attached, they're going to watch it because that's the only way they can see how your skills compare to their program. So you don't really need to ask a coach to watch your film. They're already going to do it anyways. So since you know they're going to watch your film, the next step after that is for them to come watch you play. So that's what I would ask in all your emails. You're going to attach your film so they'll have it, but I would ask coaches to come watch you play. And then obviously include your contact info. They're going to have your email because you're emailing them. I always put my phone number. Usually coaches wouldn't text me back. They would just email me back on that same thread, but I always put it just so that they have it. And use the templates in the classroom section, right? So for everyone in the recording, because I know Patrick, you've already unlocked these. For everyone watching the recording, in the classroom section, in the resources, literally in here, email templates is every single email you're ever going to send to a coach, unless you can think of one that's not on here. And you can just plug and play all of the different things, and it makes it super simple. This is what works. This is what I did. This is what other people are doing, and they're getting responses from it. So that's there for you to use. It's really easy to unlock. It's free. You don't have to pay me anything for it. I'm giving it to you. So go engage the community if you haven't unlocked that already, and get that unlocked because it's a complete game changer for sure. Okay, cool. So that was all the initial email, first email you ever send to a coach. Now we're going to talk about follow-ups and when and how to do them and what to say, what not to say, and all that stuff. So first thing you want to do once you send your initial email is wait. I know it can be hard to do nothing, right? It's obviously you're very excited. You're checking your email all the time. You really want to get a response. Of course, I was the same way. Give the coach some time, right? Even though they're in off season, it's spring for women. Men are in season, right? But even if a coach is off season when you email them, they might be coaching club and they have their spring season with their team. So they're going to be busy. And also they get hundreds of emails a day from recruits usually. So they're just not going to be able to check every single email every single day. So give them about a week, 7 to 10 days. Just wait. Just wait it out. I know it can feel like an eternity, but you don't want to send a million emails to the same coach. Just wait, and they will eventually get back to you, or they won't. After it's been a week and you're following up, here's what you should do in the follow-up. So reference your original email very briefly. Just very briefly. It's not supposed to be only about your initial email. Just kind of give them another follow-up to put it to the top of their inbox. And what you want to do is you want to show continued interest without being pushy. So I call this pleasant persistence versus being pushy. So here's being pushy. Here's what you should not say is, did you get my email? Have you been getting my messages? Why aren't you responding, right? That's pushy. You probably wouldn't feel very good if someone emailed you saying that. What you want to do instead with pleasant persistence, keep the tone friendly, right? Keep things pleasant and just be like, hey, coach, da-da-da. Just a quick follow-up here. I'm super interested in playing for your program. Let me know if you can come watch me play. Here's my next tournament, right? And just put the tournament date again, or if it's a new tournament, add that date. Thanks, Téa, right? Super, super simple. And just send that off again. Another thing you want to do as well is find reasons to email coaches. So what I just said right now, hey, this is Téa, super interested in playing for your program. Here's my next tournament. Find something new to tell them every time you email them. And so going back to these templates here, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different types of follow-up emails that you can use in here that are hey, I have a tournament coming up, or hey, I have a new highlight reel on my account, or hey, I got my test scores back, ACT, SAT, whatever stuff that you're taking, right? These are all things that I emailed coaches about when I was recruiting. I honestly, I was on a 2s team for club. I was never on the 1s team. I was always on 2s teams. Every time I would go and practice with the 1s team, I would have my mom film it. She was obviously very excited about that. She'd film it. But then I'd email all my coaches that I was in contact with and be like, hey, I practiced with my club's 1 team. Here's the clips. Check it out, right? Super easy way to follow up, still stay on the radar, but not being pushy. So give them new information when you're following up and actively look for that new information. It can be small, right? It can be practicing with the team or, you know, a workout split that you're doing or doing a private lesson. Like, it doesn't have to be these huge, huge monumental things, but keep finding reasons to follow up with these coaches. Okay, so now we're going to talk about what to do when you get ghosted or rejected by a coach. So this is when an email, a coach just does not respond, or you get to a point where they're like, yeah, we don't have a spot for you on our team. So first thing you need to do, relax. Don't stress. This literally happens to everyone, and I mean everyone when I say everyone. It is a normal part of the recruiting process. It's not a reflection of you or your worth or your potential. It's just going to happen, right? When I was recruiting, I had 52 schools on my list. I didn't get 52 offers. I got 3. So I got rejected a whole bunch of times. And that's fine because I ended up at a great school that I love, with a great team that I love, and a great coach that I love. And they're a very successful school, and everything turned out exactly the way it should have. But just understanding that it's a part of the process, it's bound to happen, and it's nothing wrong with it. It's not a scary thing. It's not something you should freak out about, because an ideal school for you is where you are super excited about the school, and the school is also very excited about you, right? So if there's a coach that you're talking to that you're really excited about, but they are not excited about you, it's just not going to work out. Like, you guys, it's a two-way street. So knowing that earlier on, as soon as the coach is like, hey, yeah, it's not really going to work, what that means for you is you can cross that school off your list and put more of your time and energy into the coaches that actually matter, which are the ones that are responding to you and interested in you. So making sure that you keep your focus on the schools that are focusing on you, right? Like, put your energy into the coaches that are responding quickly and that are moving along with the process and having you come on visits and watching you play and all this different stuff, right? Like, that's where your energy and time and focus should be, not on the coaches that don't say no, that don't say yes. So again, zooming out, right? Just whatever you get a no, or you get a coach that ghosts you, it doesn't mean all the doors are closed. It doesn't mean you're not going to play in college. There are literally hundreds of colleges out there. So you want to just spend your focus on finding a college where you will thrive, both on and off the court. And so you can use it as fuel, right? So for me, when I was recruiting, my dream schools were Cal State Monterey Bay and San Francisco State University. Both of those schools, I went to their summer camps, I went to their clinics, I practiced with the team, I went on official visits, right? And I got to a point with the Monterey Bay coach where I was just like, hey, coach, like, we've been talking for like a year now, because I'd emailed them originally a long time ago. I was like, hey, you know, we've been in contact for a while. I just wanted to check and make sure, like, are you still recruiting for outsides in my class? Like, is there still a spot for me on your team? And the coach is like, actually, no, there's not. Like, you know, just nothing against you. Like, we love you and your personality. Just skill-wise, you're not where I need you to be. And so, you know what I said immediately after that? I was like, okay, yeah, no, it makes complete sense. What can I work on to get to that level, right? And it wasn't like I was trying to, like, make her turn around and give me an offer again, but it's a really good opportunity to get really high level, really good quality feedback on what you can improve on from a college coach, right? So she was like, oh, you can do this, whatever, a couple of things. And then I went and did that at my next practice, and he gave me a good focus point. So ask for feedback and also channel it, right? Channel that energy into improving and showing up even stronger. So, like, for me, when I got to UC Merced, I was playing in college, I was like, okay. I remember thinking this before one of my first games. I was like, okay, this is my time to prove all of these other coaches wrong who didn't give me an offer. This is my time to show them that they should have given me an offer. And I still take that as fuel today, to this day, at San Francisco State. Like, once I have my next game, I'm going to be like, all right, let's go. Because I'm going to play some schools in conference that did not give me offers. And so I'm literally like, let's go. I'm going to show you why you should have given me an offer. So, like, use that as fuel once that happens. Use it as feedback so you can grow. Okay. So I want to talk about a couple of stories right now. So with kind of not just going back through everything we talked about, right? Stories for things. Going back to emails. Katya, she's one of the recruits in the group. We had a one-on-one call together. She hadn't unlocked the email templates yet, so I said, hey, unlock those, use them, and, you know, send off your first emails, because that was where she was at with recruiting. So she did that and literally got responses back within the week, and then started getting responses back from, like, the D1 colleges on her list too, which is super exciting. Same with Aubrey. She literally just made a post like a couple hours before this call saying that she got her first responses back because she sent a whole bunch of emails out earlier. So, like, this is actually working. Like, I'm not giving you something that I hope might work and I think it might. Like, it's not theory. This has actually worked for me, and it's actually working for people in the groups in terms of that initial email. In terms of follow-ups, I'm going to share some stories about follow-ups. So one of the colleges that was on my list, right, for recruiting was Sonoma State University. And so I first emailed them in April of my sophomore year. So I sent them an email. They did not respond. Sent them a follow-up. Coach didn't respond. Sent a follow up. Coach didn't respond. Sent a follow up. Coach didn't respond. Sent a follow up. Coach didn't respond. About 2 weeks after that fifth email I sent him, he finally responded. So I sent the first email in April. In September, he responded. Of my sophomore year. Fast forward to February, junior year, I'm on campus practicing with the team, sitting with the coach, chatting with him in his office. So a school that looked completely uninterested in me for the first 4 emails I sent him turned out to be a school that I was in contact with for years and ended up practicing with their team, which that doesn't happen very often. Typically 5 or 7 recruits every year practice with the team. So just like think about that. Like if I hadn't sent that fifth email, who knows if I would have gotten that far in the process. And then think about San Francisco State, right? The school that I play for right now. I sent him 7 emails before he finally responded to me. One of them had a typo and I said the wrong coach's name and he still responded somewhere. I don't know why. But I emailed him May of my sophomore year, and fast forward to February of my junior year, I was going on an official visit, right? Practicing with the team. So follow up, right? You're going to have to follow up more than you think you will. I just want to put that out there so people aren't afraid to follow up. Because if I didn't follow up with these coaches, I would not be playing in college. Like, I genuinely mean that. All of the schools that gave me offers did not respond to my first email or my second email. I had to follow up multiple times just to get a response from schools that eventually gave me offers. So I just want to tell a story about that with follow-ups and emails and stuff like that, because you're going to need to follow. I didn't realize how much I was going to need to follow up with coaches. You're going to need to follow up more than you think, and that's fine. It's part of the process. And the biggest thing as well about rejection is that it doesn't define you. How you respond to it does. So once you do get rejected, it's going to happen. It's okay. It's not a big deal. This whole community will be there to support you. I will be here to support you. Just keep going, right? Keep moving on with your process, because it doesn't end when you get your first no, right? It ends once you sign with a school, and that's just, it's going to happen. Your school, your perfect fit school, it's out there waiting for you. You just have to find it. Cool. Okay, so now we are going to switch gears to a Q&A here. And this is going to be great for you, Patrick, because you get a one-on-one with me for the next however long you want. So yeah, any questions you have about this, emails and stuff, and anything else as well?
So, let's say like I email a school and then I get left unopened. Like, how long should I wait till until I follow up?
Yeah, good question. So you're using NCSA, which tells you when coaches open your emails, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, NCSA Sports Recruits, other things do that too. What I kind of did was I waited like 4 or 5 days. You can wait a little bit less if you know when they opened it and they just chose not to respond. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I would, still within a week, but it could be a little bit sooner if you know they opened it and just didn't respond. Yeah, good question.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, of course, of course. Yeah, because I know that's where you're at right now, is where you're sending out emails, waiting for
Yeah.
responses, thinking about when to start following up type of thing.
Yeah, because I'm trying to like make them really personalized, so I'm like taking a long time on each one.
Yeah, definitely. And that's fine. That time will be much more than worth it. You don't have to send them all out within the week or something. Like
Yeah.
you have plenty of time.
Yeah.
Cool. Glad to hear you're making them personalized, because that's, but a lot of people skip that part, even though I try and tell them it's the most important part. Um, but yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Any other questions that you got?
Um, also like what if like the college that doesn't have a recruit questionnaire? Should I like ask them about it?
Yeah, good question. So if they have one, it will be on their website. So I don't think you need to ask if they don't have one, because some colleges don't. So yeah, if you don't see one on the website, then I wouldn't mention it. And if the coach is like, oh, fill out this question, like they'll send it to you if they really want you to fill it out.
Uh,
But yeah, if you can't find it on their website, then I would just leave it at that. Yeah.
all right. Yeah. I think I'm good now.
Cool, dude. Yeah, I know, because we've already had our one-on-one. We've already got a chance to talk like this, so you're
Yeah.
solid.
Right now I'm just trying to get more film so I can, yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. When is your next tournament?
It's on Monday, next Monday.
Okay. On MLK, Martin Luther King Jr. Day?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Cool. Okay. Yeah, that'll be good so you can get some clips and stuff. Sweet. Well, yeah, that is pretty much everything then.